We're back to the third read of chapter 16, the bus boycott. We take the speech of Johnson in 1964 at signing the legislation for the black people, civil rights for black people. We heard the speech and we read it and we discussed it. Okay, let's go to our presentation.
Miss, just to make sure from an idea, the second excerpt, it is President Johnson. He's the one that signed the thing that was written by the first one who wrote the first excerpt.
John F. Kennedy. No, John F. Kennedy is the president. The first excerpt is a memoir for how they started the bus boycott.
Yes, and the one that he mentioned without John F. Kennedy, he's the one that was assassinated, right? That you talked
He
about.
was a president.
You said there was one who was assassinated or killed.
Assassinated, yes, John F. Kennedy, this man.
Yes. All right.
He was the president, he was assassinated, and then came after him Johnson. Okay, so John F. Kennedy was what, dear?
The first excerpt is not related to John F.
No,
Kennedy,
it's not
right?
related to John F. Kennedy. It happened before he becomes a president. But the first excerpt shows you the trials, shows you the hard work of the Black American to gain their freedom, to stop discrimination. Because here he says to you, even in this one, he says to you, unfortunately, those rights had been enforced. It was through protests and demonstrations that activists gained the attention needed for the federal government to act to enforce these rights. Do you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes, these. So these rights have been written and these rights have been discussed, but no one forced these laws. So they had to to protest and demonstrate, bus boycott, till the president signed it. Okay?
Yes, thank you, Miss.
Welcome. So we go to page 376, focus on evaluating argument. Okay, before we, yeah. لين عياد. لين عياد. لين عمار. لين عياد. لين عمار. جوانا.
Yes, miss.
Joanna, read your Joanna, please. Page 376 or from the PowerPoint.
Both authors desire to convince their audience to take action, both right, persuasive, in order to convince their audience to act, to join together and boycott buses, or to endorse a law that protects the rights of all people. Argumentative, persuasive writing relies on presenting claims and developing those claims with support that applies to logic and to emotion.
Both excerpts, the leaflet that Jo Anison wrote, the leaflet that she said, do not stop the bus, do not take the bus, the leaflet that she distributed, it is to persuade the audience to stop taking the bus. And the speech we have heard and read now, he wants to convince people to endorse a law that protects the rights of all people. Argumentative, here is an argumentative and there is an argumentative. They persuade. Persuasive relies on presenting claims. So I should have a claim, as we took in writing argumentative. I should have a claim and develop those claims with support that appeals to logic and emotion, logos and pathos. Logos and pathos. Logos mind, pathos heart. So when in the excellent speech, the successful speech plays on the logic and the emotion at the same time. He gives me facts and he plays on my feelings. So when Jo Anderson says it will happen to us if we do not do this, so she plays on the emotion. But when she says that a woman, a respectful woman, has been arrested and put into jail, this is logic. Talks to the mind. A claim is a statement a writer is trying to prove is true. A statement, a claim, my claim in the writing, my claim in my argumentative essay, a statement writer is trying to prove is true. This is a true statement based upon an opinion, sometimes clearly stated and sometimes must be inferred. Sometimes it's clearly stated, clearly written, and sometimes it must be inferred that you have to understand the essay very well in order to know what does he want to convince you. Either stated or implied, inferred. Inferred is to make an inference, to guess what does he want. From what you read plus what you know, so you understand what does he want you to make. A claim is that what you try to prove, to convince others with. Okay? Are you with me? Okay. Turn the page. Yes, please. Yes, dear.
Teacher, in the claim, must I say it, like from understanding the excerpt, or no, I get it from the excerpt itself?
Either it is stated, like do not ride the bus, or you have to infer it to understanding that we have to accept the law.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Yes, dear. Read, dear. Read. Support for claims may include. Read. From the PowerPoint or from your book? From the PowerPoint 377 or from the PowerPoint or from your book 377?
Okay. Support for claims may include reasons that offer logical explanations for why the claim is true, why the proposed solution would be effective or superior to another, or why an action is worth taking. Facts and evidence that are used to support reasons. Examples include quotations from excerpts, statistics, or scientific data. This is the logos or logical appeals studied in earlier chapters. Emotional pleas to motivate or manipulate the audience to agree with the speaker. Personal stories are one example of emotional pleas. Appeals to emotion are also called pathos.
Okay, to support my claim, now I have a claim. The claim is that you have to stop riding the bus. How can I convince? By support my claim. Reasons that offer a logical explanation for why the claim is true. Logical explanation why the claim is true. Why she wants them to stop riding the bus. Why the proposed solution would be effective or superior to another, or why an action is worth taking. Why you want to sign this law. What will happen? But why would it be effective or superior to another? Facts and evidence that are used to support reasons. There should be facts and evidence. Okay? That Mrs. Rosa Parks has been arrested because she refused to leave or surrender her seat to a white man, and there were empty chairs, and so these are facts. They took to the logic appeal. So scientific data, statistics, experts, quotation of experts, statistics, scientific data, this is logic. It talks to the mind. Emotional, it could happen to any one of us. It will happen and will never stop. So here I play on the emotions of people, emotions of others. The audience to agree with the speaker. Personal stories are now example of emotional. Personal stories are one example of emotional piece, appeals to emotion. When she said in the leaflet, it happened to this, and she mentioned the two names of the two women that happened to put into jail for refusing to give up their seats to. Okay, so I have two ways in evaluating an argument, in two ways to support my claim: logic and passion, emotional. Logos, logic; pathos, emotion. Here, Layan Maghrabi.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, first question, dear.
From the PowerPoint, right, miss?
Yes, or from the book.
Okay, what central claim does Robinson make in the leaflet she distributed? Okay. Do I state the exact statement or do I?
No. No.
No? Oh, she claims that this, it wasn't the first time that such thing happens and they need to make it
claim. No, I want the claim, the central
Oh.
claim. What does she want them to do?
I have some. She said that this has to be stopped and that they need to boycott the bus on Monday to stop
Yes.
riding the buses.
Yes, they should stop riding the bus to stop discrimination in the buses. Read it here.
Discrimination. Robinson claims that discrimination on buses must be stopped.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Layan. Layan Fadl. Layan Fadl. Malak Wasim.
Yes, miss.
Read question 2.
How does she support her claim? Reasons, facts, quotations, give examples. I need to take it from the text, right?
Yes. Of the leaflet, only the part of the leaflet.
What did you say, miss?
From the leaflet that she distributed. It is at the last page.
Okay. So,
exactly page 370, when she says another Negro woman, to support her claim. What did she say?
370?
Yes, line 94. This is the beginning of the leaflets.
So maybe we thrown in jail because she refused to get up.
Yes, so this is a fact that she refused to give up her seat. What else written in here? A reason or a fact or a quotation?
Because
another Negro
the
has
get up at her seat for a white person to sit down.
Yes. A fact. So this is a reason. A fact. What is a fact?
That Claudette Colvin
Excellent.
case.
Claudette Colvin, yes. That's Colvin, another woman that had refused to surrender her seat and she was put into jail. Excellent, dear. Excellent.
They said they are not.
Read it. Yes.
Oh, it did not show. Yes, okay. A person uses facts to support her claim, including have rights, 3/4 of the riders.
Yes.
And if nothing is done to stop the arrest, they will continue.
Yes. So this is the book's answer, but your answers are well too. The reason that she refused to give up her seat, the fact that the other woman's name, her name is what? Yes, Claudette Colvin, that she also refused and she was put into jail. Thank you, dear. Sarah, where does Robinson appeal to emotions? Give example. Where did she talk to emotion? in the leaflet.
Just a second, miss, let me see.
You will find it in line around from 102 till 107.
The next time it's maybe you or your daughter or mother.
Excellent, yes, sir. Maybe you or your daughter or mother. So central claim for Joanne Jepson Robinson is the Robinson claims that discrimination of buses should be stopped. How does she support? By giving facts, reason that she was put into jail for refusing to give up her seat. Fact, it happened before to this woman, they clotted. Give examples of, and then here, Negroes have rights, 3/4 of riders are Negroes. Where does she appeal to emotions? So here is logic, and here is logos, and here is pathos. The next time it may be you or your daughter or mother. Here, what central claim does Jonathan make in his speech? Jonathan, Kadra, what did he make in his speech, Kadra?
He talked about like the equality and the civil rights of the Black Americans.
Excellent. The Johnson central claim is, read it.
And Johnson's central claim is that discrimination against African Americans must stop.
Excellent. Rima, question 2.
Yes,
Rima?
miss.
Yes, question 2.
How does he support his claim? Reasons, facts, quotations, give examples. He uses
Johnson,
pathos.
the president, not he, not she. He, the speech for today. How we give reasons and facts, you will find it on page 375. 375 when he says 14, line 14, the reasons. Rima?
Yes, miss.
Rima? Line 14, Rima.
The reasons are deeply embedded in history and tradition and the nature of man.
What are reasons? Why they will apply this law? Why? Continue reading, dear. Rima, are you here?
Yes, miss. Sorry, my connection is weak.
Okay.
Should I continue reading or?
Yes, but it cannot continue. It cannot continue. The discrimination cannot continue. Why?
Our Constitution, the foundation of our republic, forbids it.
Yes. This is number 1. Number 2.
The principles of our freedom forbid it.
Excellent.
Morality forbids it, and the law I will sign tonight will forbid it.
Yes, excellent. And there is another reason, there is another fact that he talks about those people who support the law. Where is this part? When he says in line 21, when he says that people support this law.
The law is the product of months of the most careful debate and discussion.
Yes.
It was proposed more than a year ago by our late beloved President John F.
So it is after a month of debates and discussions, and who agree for this law?
Both parties.
Yes, both parties, the Democrats, the Republicans, the House and the Senate. Excellent. Yeah. So read it.
Johnson gives reasons. The first is the Constitution. Our Constitution, the foundation of our republic, forbids it. The principles of our freedom forbid it. The second reason is the majority of Americans believe that the law must protect racial equality. It It has received the thoughtful support of tens of thousands of civic and religious leaders in all parts of this nation, and it is supported by the great majority of American people. This is important because in a democratic republic, laws must be approved by a majority.
Yes, thank you, Rima. Noor Abdel Karim?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Where
dear.
does
Where,
Johnson-
question 3? Yes.
Where does Johnson appeal to emotion? Give examples.
It is at the beginning of the excerpt.
Yes, when he said, when he said that Americans of every race and color have died in battles to protect freedom.
Excellent, Noor.
Okay.
Excellent. Read it.
Just a second, it didn't appear yet. Yeah. The mention of African Americans dying for their country appeals to emotion. Also, there are many other words with emotional quotations, glittering. Americans of every race and color have died in battles to protect our freedom. The unending search for justice, the only limit to a man's hope for happiness and for the future of his children shall be his own ability.
Yes. So, girls again. For Joanne Jepson Robinson, she claimed that discrimination on buses must be stopped. How? She supported her claim by giving reasons that because of Rosa Parks has refused to surrender or gave up her seat to a white man, she was put into jail. Another fact that Negroes have rights. 3/4 of the riders of the buses are Negroes. That there was another woman that happened to her and she was put into jail. Where does she play on the emotion? It could happen to you and your mother, brother, or your daughter or mother. In President Johnson's speech, the central claim was that discrimination against African American must stop. How does he support his claim? By giving reasons that our Constitution, the foundation of our Republic, forbids it, the principle of our freedom forbids it, the morality forbids it. And second reason is that everyone agrees that this law has been after a discussion and debates of month and work of month, and this has to stop. And most of the American people, majority of American people support this law, with Democratic and Republican, the House and the Senate, all of them, they agree, or the majority of them agree that this law has to stop. So these are facts, these are reasons. Where did he play on the emotions when he said that they are like us, they die in the battles to protect America as we do, as the whites do? Okay.
Teacher, isn't this a fact that they are dying?
But yes, but we took to the heart, they die for the country.
Okay. Is mentioning God a pathos? Like maybe because of religion or something?
Yes, excellent, dear. Also, God is pathos. We are equal before us, so we should be equal. It is excellent, dear. Okay. Najwa?
Yes, Miss, thank you.
Najwa, you read, or Noor, the one who read?
No, Miss, I read.
You read. Okay, happy. So Noor, read, ya Noor, continue reading. Noor Bilal?
Yes, Miss. From the PowerPoint?
Yes, or from the book. It is on page 378.
Yes. An argument includes a claim and the evidence used to support the claim. However, all arguments are not equal. Some are better supported than others. Some are more logical than others. When evaluating an argument, it is not enough to say it is good or bad. It is very easy to judge an argument based upon whether you agree with it. But instead, you must evaluate the parts of the argument based on identifiable criteria. One method of evaluating arguments is FELT.
Listen, girls, evaluating the argument, FELT, the fairness, evidence, logic, and tool. It is 3 pages, so not 3 pages only, it is 4 pages actually. So the period will not be enough. We just have like 7 minutes left. Okay, so I prefer to discuss it next time. I started it from the beginning. Started from here, next period, next literature period. Okay, so this part from here we will start next time. Are you with me? So today what happened? Today we read about John F. Kennedy, President, 35th president who proposed the civil rights legislation. He was assassinated, and then came after him the President Johnson, the one who signed the legislation, and you heard his speech, and this was when he was signing it by white and African, those African and those white men, okay? And he signed it. Then there was the discussion or the comparison between argument to evaluate arguments. The first argument with the leaflet that Joe Ann Robinson distributed on the people. Why? What does she want? She wanted to stop discrimination on buses. And we said, how did she play on Logos part and Path's part, and how Johnson wanted his in his speech. What did he want? He wants discrimination against African Americans should be stopped. And how does he support his claim? By reasons, facts, quotation. Okay, and this is when he used the logos. And where does Johnson appeal to emotions? Okay, the pathos. Okay, so we will stop here. But I would like to show you each 1 minute. Civil Rights Act. Civil Rights Act. What is Civil Rights Act? That they signed. Okay. Yeah, this video is the bell signing. Civil Rights Act of 1968 bell signing.
Congress passes the most sweeping civil rights bill ever to be written into the law, and thus reaffirms the conception of equality for all men that began with Lincoln and the Civil War 100 years ago. The Negro won his freedom then. He wins his dignity now. 5 hours after the House passes the measure, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is signed at the White House by President Johnson.
This is President Johnson when he signed the Civil Rights Act. Okay, Civil Rights Act.
An audience of legislators and civil rights leaders who had labored long and hard for passage of the bill, President Johnson calls for all Americans to back what he calls a turning point in history.
We must not approach the observance and enforcement of this law in a vengeful spirit. Its purpose is not to punish. Its purpose is not to divide, but to end divisions, divisions which have lasted all too long. Its purpose is national, not regional. This Civil Rights Act is a challenge to all of us to go to work in our communities and our states, in our homes and in our hearts, to eliminate the last vestiges of injustice in our beloved country. I urge every public official, every religious leader, every business and professional man, every working man, every housewife, I urge every American to join in this effort to bring justice and hope to all our people and to bring peace to our land.
There's warm applause from members of both parties as the president sets to work. It is work. He uses nearly 100 pens to affix the signature and date. Souvenirs go to Republican leader Everett Dirksen and Democratic whip Hubert Humphrey. The president seems to have mastered the art of just touching each pen to the paper. The integration leader, Martin Luther King, receives his pen, a gift he said he would cherish. The Department of Justice will enforce the law if necessary, and G-Man Chief J. Edgar Hoover is present. Another group of pens is reserved for the Kennedys, and the Attorney General is entrusted with a half dozen. Now, in this summer of 1964, the Civil Rights Bill is the law of the land. In the words of the President, it restricts no one's freedom so long as he respects the rights of others.
You see when he was distributing the pens that he signs with it the bell. So each one will take a pen. Hello, you hear me, girls?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Do you hear me? Did you see when he
Yes.
was distributing the pen? Okay.
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can...
Welcome to Kids Academy.
Hello. Let's get started on the lesson. People come in many shapes, colors, and sizes. We are all special in our very own way. Did you know that some years ago, people were treated unfairly because they were different? People were forced to live in different communities based on skin color. This was called segregation. Black children and white children were not allowed to go to the same schools. Because of segregation laws, people of different colors could not eat at the same restaurants. Civil rights activists wanted to change these unfair laws. An activist is a person who works hard to make changes happen in society. During the 1950s, buses were segregated. White passengers sat in the front, while black passengers sat in the back. One day, a brave woman named Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white passenger. When she disobeyed, she was arrested and sent to jail. Her courage led to the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. A boycott is when people stop using a service in order to create change. During the Montgomery bus boycott, people who supported Rosa decided to stop riding buses and walk instead. This gained the attention of American lawmakers. Bus segregation was soon outlawed in 1956. Martin Luther King Jr. was also an activist and leader in the civil rights movement. He led many marches and gave many speeches about equal rights for all. His most famous speech was called, "I Have a Dream." Later, Martin Luther King Jr. won the Nobel Peace Prize for his successful efforts. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 ended segregation laws in America. People could now live, work, and eat wherever they wanted. The civil rights movement changed the way people live together in America. Let's review. Segregation is when people are separated from one another. People in America were once segregated based on skin color. Black and white people were not allowed to live in the same community.
Okay, here she repeats what she has said. So you get the idea, girls. We will finish the third read next time. Okay, did you like the excerpt, girls?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Okay. See you tomorrow, girls. Bye.
Bye, miss. Bye, miss. Have a nice day.